Siblings. If you have one, you'll know that sometimes there's a fine line between love and hate. Can you imagine having a twin sibling? Someone who looks exactly like you, talks and walks as you do. In today's video, we will look at the Duval twins, also known as the Yoga twins, or, by some, the Terrible twins. Did one sister try to kill her sibling, or did she decide to end both of their lives? According to clinical research, twins have two identities, as a twin and as an individual. Twin identity generates the profound attachment that twins consciously or unconsciously want to share for the duration of their lives. Individuality in twins actually fosters rivalry, rage, frustration, and resentment. Twin proximity and harmony provide tranquility and assurance. Twin fighting, which can lead to estrangement, is widespread, agonizing, and distressing. Due to excessive fighting and sharing, twins confuse who is liable for what in their relationship and with others. Did Alexandria Duval decide she was liable and entitled to end their lives, or was it an accident that killed her twin, Anastasia? Allison and Ann Duval were born in 1978 in Utica, New York. The girls' mother died abruptly when they were only 5 years old, leaving them and their older sibling in the custody of their prison doctor father. While their sibling Amy attended public school in nearby Utica, their father enrolled the twins at Notre Dame, the local Roman Catholic school. John Duval indulged the girls' every desire as they grew up, giving them the keys to his Cadillac and allowing them to charge thousands of dollars on his credit card to purchase designer outfits for school, and they frequently attended school in Chanel and Giorgio Armani clothing. Even the Flash girls thought they were Flash. They'd wear gold and carry $800 wallets, said a school friend. They had an oddly close bond. I don't think anyone really knew them. I don't think they let anyone really know them, and they were left to fend for themselves in their own home. They were nice, but they would fight, almost like a married couple. All it would take was for one of them to talk to someone else, and they'd be screaming and yelling at each other, said one former schoolmate. In high school, they enjoyed partying, smoking cigarettes and marijuana, and drinking excessively. While others partied at the weekend, they pretty much carried it on all week, said the friend. But it never seemed to affect their schoolwork, the friend added. Academically, they were brilliant at everything they tried. They could have been anything if they just had some guidance. As identical twins, their lives were inextricably intertwined. Whatever they did together, and whatever they planned for themselves. They were both high school cheerleaders who joined the Navy JROTC. Their goal was to both become neurosurgeons. The friend remarked, "They didn't seem to have separate ambitions. If anything, Anne was the more grounded, mellow one, and Allison was a little wilder." Even though they had a reputation for being party animals in high school, the girls never had any significant romantic relationships. They preferred to maintain an aura of mystery and made no secret that they enjoyed taking showers together. As they grew older, alcohol became a problem, especially for Allison, said the friend. They started gaining weight, but suddenly lost it in their freshman year of high school. That made their problems worse for them. Everyone said they were bulimic, and they ended up putting the weight back on, the friend said. It's like everything was ammunition against them. I think that is why they kept themselves to themselves. The family eventually relocated to Florida, where the twins attended college in St. Petersburg and Tampa. Anne and Allison launched their first twin power yoga studio in Palm Beach Gardens in 2008, followed by a second location in downtown West Palm Beach 3 years later. They also planned a Boca Raton venue. They named their philosophy Yoga Life, and Anne told the Boca Raton Observer that customers declare goals, both spiritually and physically. She added, "We want to see you on the mat. We help you make up your own affirmative mantra based on what your goals are." As a statement, the twins used to drive identical Porsches in Palm Beach, where they were well-known personalities. Her peers saw Allison as having a big, dominant personality, while Anne was described as the sweetest, kindest, most level-headed person. The local tabloids, however, were not as kind to them as their acquaintances. A local Palm Beach County tabloid website called them the terrible yoga twins. Being twins, they could not be separated. A member of their yoga studio claimed she had never seen them apart. They were always together, always finishing each other's sentences, and involved in the most vitriolic arguments. Keith Weiss, a Florida chief who claims to have dated Anastasia for more than 6 months before the sisters changed their names, told news agencies that he witnessed physical conflicts between the twins, which would often escalate in public and without warning. "I once got a call from Anne saying, 'Get over here now, I'm going to kill her,'" recalled Weiss. "She actually started hitting Allison with the phone. I heard it. Thump, thump, thump. They were both screaming at each other. I get to their apartment and there's broken glass everywhere from wine bottles and shattered glasses. There was blood everywhere, and the bedroom door was falling off its hinges," said Weiss. "Both of them were sitting on the couch when I walked in, and they were like, 'Hey, how are you doing?' Allison had a bruise on her face. I asked them if they were okay, and they were like, 'We're good, we're fine, we're just watching a movie.' Meanwhile, all around them, it's total destruction. They seem to not know they wanted to kill each other just minutes earlier." At least twice, the sisters fought in Weiss's car, once while Anastasia was driving, according to Weiss. These conflicts were very intense and nearly led to crashes. While in Palm Beach, the twins moved to a 16th-floor condominium in the upscale City Place development in West Palm Beach. However, they lived way beyond their means. In 2011, they were approached by producers of a Hollywood reality program. According to the sisters' spiritual advisor, Leslie McMichael, the producers insisted they relocate into a more luxurious residence that would also serve as their new studio. Following the instructions, they secured a new apartment, but the program was canceled. This caused the two to incur enormous debt. Anne and Allison were left with an unaffordable lease and so much debt that they decided to close the business and leave town in 2014 without paying employees or offering studio members rebates. A lot of people really trusted them, but for all the love they got here, they betrayed everyone, said Dahlia Scholes, the former general manager of the studio. Their father and sister continue to reside in the Palm Beach region. These two relatives have also experienced their share of drama. It appears that alcohol problems are abundant in the Duval family. Amy, the elder sibling of the twins, was detained in July 2015 after she showed up intoxicated and hurled a bottle of water and a can of Lysol wipes at her retired physician father. In a report requesting a protection order against his oldest daughter, John Duval said, "She came to the house intoxicated and started verbally abusing me, saying she would never leave the house unless I gave her $100,000. After he refused to comply with her demand, she began cursing at him, hurling objects at him that struck him on the shoulder." Duval said, "I pressed my lifeline button and requested they summon the police. Her physical actions have become more abusive such that now I fear for my safety as I'm in a wheelchair and I'm unable to physically defend myself and run away," he added. According to court documents, after Amy's detention, she claimed she had been violated, a claim the officers did not believe. When she was taken to a hospital for a rape test, she refused to submit and instead requested an attorney. Amy Duval was ultimately convicted of assaulting a senior, filing a false rape report, and violently resisting arrest. She was placed on 1-year probation. According to court records, Amy was also convicted of DUI in 2009 after crashing into a stopped vehicle at 50 miles per hour, causing a 4-car collision. Officer Ralph Kranchik noted that Amy was swaying and stumbling after the crash. After disappearing from Palm Beach, the twins resurfaced in another affluent location, the upmarket ski resort of Park City, Utah, but their time there was beset with legal issues, including 5 warrants for alcohol-related incidents. They opened a yoga studio that offered a variety of yoga disciplines, including Doga, a form of yoga for dogs. Again, their lives were inextricably intertwined. In November 2014, Allison filed for bankruptcy, according to public records. Her sister filed 5 weeks later. Between them, They owed approximately $200,000 in credit card debt. The individuals' drinking grew even more out of hand when they moved to Utah. After their vehicle slid into a ravine and when police arrived, they were fighting and pulling each other's hair. In Utah, Allison was arrested for driving under the influence, abandoning an accident site, driving without insurance, disorderly conduct, and public intoxication. Ann was detained in 2014 near Ogden, Utah, for public intoxication, assault on a police officer, disorderly conduct, and interfering with an arrest. Soon after, they were on the move again, reappearing in Hawaii in January 2016 as the Duval twins, with Allison adopting the name Alexandria and Ann adopting the name Anastasia. Within days on the island, Anastasia reported being robbed at the Family Life Destitute Shelter on Maui, while she and her sister stayed at the luxurious Westin Maui Resort. A shelter volunteer remarked she had the craziest story about arriving in Hawaii a few days ago and getting robbed of her wallet and getting separated from her twin sister. She gave us a false name at first. She claimed she had no ID, no money, no nothing. She just wanted us to help her out with some cash. She claimed it was to buy a ticket back to the mainland, but we're just a shelter. We don't give out money. Plus, I had the feeling she wasn't really telling the truth. She started flipping out in the office, so we tried to help her locate her sister. When Alexandria was located, the sisters checked into a cheap motel while Ann left her belongings at the homeless shelter. On May 29, 2016, it was reported that an SUV had fallen off a 200-foot cliff in Maui. Authorities were able to extricate two twin sisters, aged 37, from the wreckage. The vehicle's driver, Alexandria, survived the crash with minor injuries. However, her twin sister Anastasia was pronounced dead at the scene. Anastasia and her partner Frederico Bailey had planned a camping excursion. However, Alexandria joined them at the last minute. According to Frederico, Anastasia was unhappy with her sister's decision to join them. According to Frederico, the sisters had one of their famous fights that lasted at least 5 minutes. During the journey, the sisters took Frederico's SUV and left the campsite. Frederico claimed in his statement to the police that the twins returned but brought alcohol with them. Since they already had a problem with alcohol, Frederico was not pleased with them. Frederico walked away to calm himself down. He returned to discover that the twins had left again in his SUV. According to witnesses, Alexandria was driving the SUV, whereas Anastasia was in the passenger seat. The trial's witnesses testified that they saw the SUV accelerate and then make an abrupt left turn, which caused the vehicle to fall off the 200-foot precipice. Even though Alexandria survived, the most critical question is still unanswered. Was it a car accident, or was Alexandria trying to kill both of them? Alexandria was arrested and would stand trial for second-degree murder. According to the police, she could not have predicted that she would survive the fall, so her intention was unquestionably. Numerous prosecution witnesses testified against Alexandria during the trial. Emlyn Higa, the prosecutor in the case, stated that she never intended to prosecute the case as a homicide, but a woman who did not wish to die is now dead. Chad Smith testified on behalf of the prosecution that he witnessed the twins driving the vehicle. They were arguing aggressively with their hands raised, and he could hear them screaming. Kupaus, another witness, noticed that she had heard the car's driver cry for help and that the lady in the passenger seat sounded very aggravated and scared. Another witness said he heard the vehicle accelerate before it plunged off the cliff. The driver of a nearby Boy Scout van testified that he witnessed the passenger seat twin yanking and aggressively twisting the hair of the driver's seat twin. Maliola, a Maui police officer, testified for the prosecution that when he arrived at the hospital after the accident, he noticed that the surviving twin, Alexandria, exhibited no emotion and was hysterical but not crying. Surprisingly, according to the vehicle's control module, there was never any sign that the brakes had been applied, as determined by the police investigations. Alexandria was released on June 8, 2016, because the judge found no solid evidence against her. However, prosecutors presented the case to a grand jury, and she was rearrested on November 11th of the same year. Judge Peter Cahill did not find Alexandria culpable of her sister's homicide despite vigorous prosecution, and she was released. Alexandria has declined to comment on the matter. What most likely happened in this bizarre case? As seen by various witnesses and going on past history, the Duval twins had a volatile relationship that often ended up in physical violence. Were the twins so blinded by rage and involved in their fight that driving safely in a moving vehicle was the last thing on their minds? Intermittent explosive disorder is a mental disorder characterized by frequent outbursts of impulsive anger or aggression. The episodes are disproportionate to the situation that prompted them and cause considerable distress. Individuals with intermittent explosive disorder have a low frustration and adversity threshold. Outside of the anger outbursts, their behavior is normal and appropriate. The episodes may include temper tantrums, verbal or physical confrontations, or aggression. Could the twins have suffered from this disorder? Or did their alcohol problems, coupled with their fight, cause the car wreckage? What do you think? We would love to hear from you, so please give us a comment in the comments section.